Singapore and Malaysia are working towards mutually recognizing COVID-19 vaccination certificates, along with progressively restoring cross-border travel. Foreign ministers from both sides have met in Putrajaya. Melissa Go with more.
The hour-long meeting held here in Putrajaya was described as constructive. Many issues were discussed, in particular how to safely reopen the economy and their borders so that people can start travel again. Now, lots of discussion centered on vaccine rollout and how to facilitate cross-border travel. Now, both Dr. Vivian and Minister Hishammuddin spoke about vaccine passport, how to get both countries to recognize each other's vaccine certificate, not just vaccines, but also the swab test results and so on. The detailed requirements, health protocol and the application process, and that takes time.
On the policy side, we've come to some understanding, but on the operational side, we need to coordinate all the stakeholders. We need to speak to the state government with regards to Johor, Singapore travel. So all this needs to be coordinated.
Now, while vaccine passport is a work in progress, details of which they hope will be announced by both countries' prime ministers when they meet at the annual leaders retreat hosted by Singapore later this year. Now, in the meantime, both foreign ministers said they are working towards restoring the reciprocal green lane or RGL arrangement that suspended earlier this year by May, depending how stabilized they said the situation on the ground. But while waiting for all these to be operationalized, both countries, they said, have agreed to facilitate compassionate travel between Malaysia and Singapore.
There are people on both sides of the border, relatives, parents, grandparents. Sometimes a person is critically ill, they need to visit urgently. So I'm glad that our two sides have arrived at an in-principle agreement, and we hope to be able to operationalize this next month in April.
Minister Vivian also called on Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin and Senior Minister Ismail Sabri. He also held discussion with Vaccine Minister Hishammuddin. Tomorrow he meets Trade Minister Mr. Azmin Ali before returning to Singapore. Melissa Go, CNA, Putrajaya.